browser and see if it's better.
All right.
Oh, I did. I just did.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I believe your Discord has the wrong mic because I'm hearing a lot of and I'm hearing myself coming through your microphone. So I think you got to set it on your web browser because I think it's picking up that other mic that you don't like it to have because it sounds weird. It sounds kind of watery. But anyways, welcome to Clout.WAV, the greatest podcast on the internet. Because let's face it, folks, the mother run-of-the-mill podcast are not going to tell you the things that we're going to tell you. I understand. You may think, what are you supposed to be? Black InfoWars? No, put down the drugs, put down the unlawful paraphernalia. All right, this is us giving you the real, and not just me. No, there's more than that. It's not just your boy Q bringing you the news. It's your boy Subtle Fraudulence. How you doing, man? You doing all right?
I am doing okay. I don't know why you said all that about the wrong mic, because I got the right mic on right now. All right, I've always got the right mic. If there's a mic that my voice is coming through, it is the right mic every single time.
That's Cal.
Oh, that's Cat. Wow, you think the people don't want to hear me? Come on, man. That's crazy.
No, I said you having the right mic all the time. That is, let's not do that, sir. Let's not play these silly games. Let's not do that. Let's just get right to it and agree to disagree. Because if we have to stay on this point any longer, you're gonna end up being exposed. And it's not even your fault.
As long as they hear my voice, yeah, Discord will find a way to correct itself. Don't worry, man.
All right, correct itself. That's what we're going with this week. Anyways, I'm looking good in my white tee, feeling fresh with the fresh linen. But that being said, what a week we have had here on planet Earth. Because I don't know if you guys remember, way back in the day, there was a very interesting individual, I guess if you want to call it that, known as, and I quote, "Eat that pussy 445." He may be saying, what the hell type of username is that? Some of y'all may know him as EDP445. And you may be saying, I've heard that before. Interesting. But I don't recall where I've heard it before. Well, he is a former Philadelphia Eagle super fan. And when I say super fan, I'm talking about he would just yell, rant, rave, scream, just do all types of chicanery for the maximum amount of clout. So much so, he was even willing to take a Philadelphia Eagle jersey and wipe his 506 gout diabetes ass with it. And I mean literally out here flossing cheeks with a jersey he paid money for just to say screw the Eagles in this current sports climate. He's one of those.
Sounds like a man that everybody loves right there. A man of the people.
Where's the thing? He got a cult following because people enjoyed making memes out of him because he would just go on these belligerent, crazy tangents, some sports related, some not sports related. There's an infamous viral video where he's out some restaurant and he films himself going, I got to get out of here, boys. I broke the toilet. Like the toilet is broken. I sat on it and things didn't go well. Things went south real fast. The shit hit the proverbial fan and literal fan at this point to where he felt like this was like a Metal Gear Solid mission. I got to get up out of here. Otherwise, they're going to find out I broke the toilet. I don't remember which establishment it was. I'm sure some of y'all who've seen the video could fill me in. But if you haven't heard of him, he basically fell off the map for 4 or 5 years now. Because, I mean, he was doing absolutely nothing to my knowledge. Like, even popping up on Twitter, didn't see that anymore. But recently, he has been convicted, and by convicted, I mean by public court, Twitter court, people's court, not any sort of real legal issues, of being caught in 4K, pulling up, trying to beat the Doonies down of children. Man was caught in a To Catch a Predator-esque type way here on the YouTubes by one and only Chet Goldstein. Now you may be saying, why does that name ring a bell? Well, you want to tell him? You want to tell him?
Oh, all right. Well, I'm finding out about all these people this week, but Chet Goldstein is a man that apparently makes some sort of YouTube series where he goes out of his way to throw out some TCAP, To Catch a Predator type of strats to pull in people who are trying to talk to 13-year-olds and other kids of other ages, and basically try to pull a sting of it wasn't a real 13-year-old, it was me. And so this dude made a video trying to expose EDP, and in doing so he posted it on the internet, and he got the attention of people on the internet. And once you get a lot of attention from people on the internet, at least one of those people are gonna look up this dude and say, What's his real deal, though? And then they find that this man is out here saying the hard R N word plus R addition of the N word out here, like casually. Like he says it in Discords, he says it, in all kinds of like videos and things like that. He's homophobic. He's probably transphobic. He also makes jokes about doing stuff with children in public. Like there's like a clip of him in a supermarket with like somebody, I don't know, it sounds like it's somebody's mom, and he's making some jokes about he's like, oh, that 6-year-old needed some more, didn't needed everything but vitamin D. You see, because I've got it covered for the vitamin D. And it's like, whoa, dude, what are you? And he's the one who tried to, put this sting operation on EDP, right? And in the video, the whole time, he's making fat jokes. He's making all kinds of like weird pedophile jokes. He's making jokes about doing stuff with children, which again, no, it's not funny. It's not cool. What the fuck? And on top of that, this dude, so he had this whole operation set up, right? And he didn't have any sort of police presence there at all. And actually, like the entire time seeing that, I'm like, why is EDP even there? You could literally just walk to your car and just leave. These people are just accosting you in the street, or just like, hey, we have pictures here, and we have printed out transcripts of your text messages and conversations with what you thought was a 13-year-old girl, and we want to ask you, just like, what was your thought process on all this? Why would you do this? Like what drove you to do all this? Blah blah blah, whatever. Right? There's no cops, there's no security, there's no muscle. There's literally one dude with a camera and two dudes with transcripts, papers in their hands, accosting this man. Right? At the end of the video, he's like, EDP finally realizes all of this, and it's just like, after calling someone and telling them that he's going to jail, he like just starts walking to his car. He's like, I'm going home. And this man called the cops, right? Chet Goldstein called the cops, and he was like, yes, this man's name is Bryant. Bryant. Yes, like Kobe Bryant. He says all these things, and he's like, yeah, the guy's like trying to go in his car and go home right now. Like, wait, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I didn't call the cops. He's like, wait, what do you mean you're not coming? Wait, what? Hello? Like, you could tell
it
that the conversation.
it came off like we were looking to get some clout and some notoriety,
right,
while trying to look like we're good people.
He plugged his YouTube channel and everything. Like he plugged his other videos at the beginning of this video of like, hey, follow me, look for my other stuff. I'm going to be posting other things, blah, blah, blah. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, pay, be a part of this like Patreon if you want more content, etc.
Well, here's the thing. Originally, people were saying if you want to see the video early, you got to go to the Patreon. Like they were going to withhold this type of stuff behind a paywall from the Jump Street. So they clearly knew it was about the monetization. They knew what buttered their biscuit. Getting a pedophile off a street was secondary, if not, third on the things to do list.
Exactly. Like he had no intention of sitting here exposing EDP as a pedophile, because one, that dude, he may or may not be one himself. And also, with that context, when you think of the questions that he was asking, it seemed more like he was trying to get tips than he was actually trying to, be in the mindset of someone who would do something like this, or try to get some rationale out of this man or anything of that sort. This guy was just kind of like, well, why would you do it? What was the strategy that you took here when you sent this picture or when you sent this text? Like, why did you say this?
Because if you clearly cared about getting a man off the street, you would have definitely called cops ahead of time.
Yeah,
you would have
said,
provided
hey,
the evidence, said this is something that y'all seriously need to look into. This is the guy. Set up a thing. There would have been a whole thing. But then you couldn't get your camera and your live stream involved.
Right. And it was a shitty camera at that. With the camera angle, plus the questions that he was asking, it was hard to take any of this seriously. Like, in the back of my brain, I still think this might be like some sort of collaborative like tech that they're doing to make some sort of
I doubt
outrage
that.
culture thing to
I
get
doubt
clout.
that. I doubt that due to the simple fact that like several months ago, EDP got brought up and like someone was showing like Instagram messages and like
Oh, well,
somebody Snapchat of him like basically just like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I beat up the box, and she was like, I'm 14. He said, I ain't ask all that. And it was like, who is
dude,
this?
even like the Chet Goldstein even asked him like the question of like, oh, would you if this was a 12-year-old, would you would you have done any of this? And he's like, no. EDP was like, no, I wouldn't have. So like, you wouldn't have with a 12-year-old, but you would have with a 13-year-old. I'm so confused. I'm like, bro, where are the cops? Like where's
Like
the
you should have got
muscle?
the cops up front. Like you said, nah, man, you need help. I'm gonna call the cops. And it's like, I feel like you should have done that first. Because you know when Chris Hansen gets these people over here, I understand it's one big sting and all, but cops are on the scene. They're integrated in this.
Exactly. And like when he did call the cops, it like he got a response that seemed like he was joking or something. Like they responded as if like, yeah, are you serious? Like, what do you wait? You're with the person right now. Also, on top of that, he used actual children to try and bait these people in either this situation or other situations that he did try to like film or whatever, which is not legal because he produced CP to catch people who are going after CP, which
Wait,
means
wait,
he's now in
wait, wait, wait,
possession.
wait, wait. So what you're saying is he was using actual like children to model in lewd positions?
Yes.
Oh, but see, I didn't know about that. That is a tale that you just brought to light for me.
Now, he did say he made some comment that one of the people that he got was like a friend's younger brother
That does not
who
change
was
the fact of what
17.
it
But
is.
like, yeah, it is still like you're still using a child for this. And although 17 gives you some like leeway because some states have like 16 as the age of consent or whatever, and 17 is the age of consent, like you're still producing CP, dude. Like, why would you think this is the case? Why don't you just take a page out of the book of the show that you're trying to mock or trying to like emulate and just get someone who is an adult who may look younger to, take the pictures or whatever, or, someone of age who takes these suggestive pictures and then you just say this is from like a 13-year-old or whatever, and like it's not like these like fools, these pedos and whatnot who are looking for all of this are just going to be like, I don't know, looks like you might be older. No, I don't think any of that is going to be the case if that was really your intended goal, and I don't believe that's the case. I think this
Because
dude
most of
was
these
just trying to
folks are
get
genuinely
on.
not smart, and this seems like, hey, Chris Hansen fumbled the bag not too long ago with the Catch a Predator community. Now it's
He
my
sure
time to
did.
cash in the money in the bank briefcase. Like that's kind of what it came off as, but at the same time, it's just like I have a hard time believing that anything about EDP couldn't have been done sooner. Because some people were just like, "Wow, I'm just so shocked," and it's like there have been some breadcrumb signs, and there's definitely been signs that he was not altogether on his rocker for years. There have been several people who have been calling him out and saying that he needs to be ousted years ago. And I thought he was gone because he just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And then he just recently shows up. And then he has like these weird Instagram DMs that people were talking about and these, voice clips of him being like, yeah, I'll beat him down. You know what I'm saying? I'll get in those cheeks to a minor who he knew was a minor. And I figured at that point they would have gotten him way the fuck up out the frame then. But somehow it came to this. And they're still playing you've done this 5 times, EDP. Why shouldn't I call the cops? Why shouldn't I? Like, you,
5.
yeah, when the Goldstein video, he's like, you've done this many times. We caught you in 4K. Look at, because apparently they've been going back and forth with him a few times.
Yeah, that.
And it's like, if you had him dead to rights, I don't understand why you needed like a third time, a fourth time, or more. Like, I just don't feel as though. Like, I understand due diligence and all, but I feel like you're just trying to maximize some clout here so you get some jokes off.
Yeah, I don't think it's even due diligence. I just think it's a situation where they just wanted to be able to say this famous, the famous streamer or content creator is out here doing this, so now we're gonna get the bag. Except they're not, because one, their video is going to be forgotten Two, the dude behind the whole thing already is a pariah because I don't know, he represents like everything that the cops would also want to throw in jail, or at the very least, like watch.
And now there's like several different like Chet Goldstein exposure videos that are now hitting the internet. So
Exactly.
like now he's in 100% mask off mode because it's like, no, we see you too.
For the fact of the matter is that they didn't like call the cops or do anything to get this dude sent to jail. And their video is ass. Like if EDP was not in the video, nobody would care. I won't say nobody would care. I mean, nobody would like share this video around or anything like that. They would just be, or at the very least, they would be like, dude, why didn't you call the cops? Or I'm going to call the cops, or something along those lines. Like this video was ass. It was filmed in a terrible way. The actual like sound recording is awful. The entire like technique behind getting this content was awful, and it was like it made me actually have a little bit more respect for Chris Hansen and his new excursion of like doing like the new To Catch a Predator thing, because at least with Chris Hansen it was like he invited somebody to a hotel room and then they had like a semblance of a film crew in the hotel room and like gave this person a mic and all this shit and was like, all right, now talk to us, like tell us why are you doing all this, why are you, here are the logs right here, tell me why are you trying to talk to a 13-year-old girl, all that shit. Nah, with these dudes, they literally just ran up on EDP outside. Where one, he could have just gave him the hands. He's a big dude. He could have like belly flopped on them or something like that. EDP could have fought him because they were
Because
just
you know how
outside.
long this took place, right?
I know the video was like almost an hour.
Yeah, almost an hour, in which EDP was there for about almost all of it. And it's like, see, if you would have called the cops and said where you were going to be when this all went down, he would have been there for an hour. The cops had more than enough time to get there in an hour. You could have nipped this all in the butt, but it feels like you're trying to get a part two and milk this a little bit to have a little bit of longevity and coast out.
It's ridiculous. Plus, it's not like they had this footage and then released it like the day after they got it. They were probably sitting on this for like at least a week to try and edit it or whatever to like release it as their content, because of course there is a clip in the beginning which is not from this like this excursion where the dude is like, hey, follow, subscribe, we've got more videos like this, subscribe to our Patreon, blah blah blah. Like,
well, remember
guys,
that was for us to see it early. They were going to hold it behind a pine wall so you could see it even later.
Exactly. They were going to put this behind a paywall, which meant this would not have been viral because people would have had to pay for your content first, and they probably wouldn't have wanted to do that because this is just some rando dude who's just like, yeah, I got the tapes, guys, come to my place and buy it. It's like, no, it's cool. I'd rather pay like the $5 on OnlyFans before I pay for your exclusive tapes on EDP, or whatever, right? So at the end of the video, the cops are not there. So we're to believe that EDP got away. Maybe now that it's like it's gone viral, the cops are showing up to his house and we're like, yeah, we saw it, so you're coming with us, bro. Like, maybe. But EDP, I'm gonna literally Google, is EDP in jail right now?
Oh my god, you know damn well that's not how it works. The justice system and the legal system never move that fast. But you knew the answer to
that. You're right. It's all just stuff about how he got caught in 4K, but he isn't in jail yet. Apparently. Well, actually, hold on. I think I found a video that has ABC News Nightline. Nah, I think maybe this is a completely different black dude that they're like assaulting over here. Yeah. Okay. This is fake. See, you see what they do out here for content. Like, they made a fake video of another black man getting assaulted by the police, and they're like, yeah, this is EDP going to jail. And it's like, no, it's not. Which also, because those guys let EDP leave, now you have situations where cops may see someone in the streets who they may think is EDP. They may see like a bigger a black man just walking on the streets who has a shaved head, and then they're just gonna like accost that man or assault that man, like, attack him or whatever, because they're like, EDP, I saw the video, and he's not EDP at all. They just beat up some poor man who's just trying to, like, live, and happen to be of like a similar like look, or like, yeah, he happened to be like a similar like body type to EDP and be black, and then they're just like, there he is, because that's happening. That's what happens out here. Like we've got stories to back this up, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's all a whole mess. And these dudes, like they fumbled whatever bag they thought they were gonna get from it too. Like it's baffling that people are doing this shit just for like the allure of like getting money from some sort of clout. Like, you guys don't have a TikTok house. You don't live in LA. This is not how it's gonna work.
And I just don't get it.
I don't get it either, honestly. I mean, as far as like EDP doing it, I get that to an extent, because it's like he's a big dude. I can't believe his name is that. I can't, like, come on, who believes the name, guys?
Yeah, 445 EDP 445 LBS, bro. Like, here's the thing: you got to understand, this is somebody where we already knew sus and electrical, sus out of electrical, sus at home.
Mm-hmm.
Man was a genuine weirdo off top, and people have said it for years. I don't want to go in circles, but I really need to beat it home to you. This dude was a weirdo. Nothing normal about it. And Chet Goldstein really isn't too far behind with his uncanny valley ass older videos. Especially some of the ones that have like resurfaced where, he's dropping the hard R. Letting, obviously has to remind everyone that, black people, because they can't swim, it ranges between minuscule little insignificant jokes and banter, and then just like hard R-ing people out there. People have been riled up for homophobia and all types of fucked up shit. Like, there's a video called Chet Goldstein, aka Predator Poachers, being racist and a predator for 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
This isn't the version of Plus R that I wanted.
Exactly. And yeah, apparently like predator poachers themselves on their, I think it's their Facebook page or their Instagram, had a picture of some African dude getting into some makeshift helicopter, and then just put the caption RIP Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So like
they're those guys. So
yeah,
like they're doing anything for the bag, and they're not getting a bag. So what's the point?
Like, at that point, it's like, if you're being an asshole and you can't even secure the bag, you're just an asshole for free, which tells me you just enjoy being an asshole, which is fine. You have every right to be an asshole, but we have every right to, well, call you an asshole in turn.
Right. We have every right to find you in the streets.
And then when you have one chance to do good, you somehow find the most ass backwards way to fuck that up too. And that's what's wild to me. And that's kind of the world we live in. People just out here wilding for no reason. Like, not even to the benefit of society. Hashtag
at the very
wasted
least,
space, kids.
At the very least, the like full like unedited footage could have been sent to his local precinct and said like, "Hey, this man is out here, trying to meet up with kids." Like, he didn't actually meet up with one, but who knows, what he could be up to, whatever. Which, yes, legalese wise, it's hard to convict him of something, because this is a civilian who tried to act as a child to lure this man in, which isn't really legal. And on top of that, a lawyer could argue that EDP knew the whole time, and he was just doing this because he thought that he was going to get clout off of this, or something along those lines. So it's really like fucked up. But at the very least, he could have done something to get this man off the streets, get this man out of your kids' DMs. Like, come on, man.
But then you also have to think about it like, this isn't the first YouTuber that we've seen out here being a pedophile, and as we've seen, some of them are still allowed to run Minecraft servers and still make Minecraft videos on the platform.
Oh, who is this?
Lion Maker.
Oh,
we talked about this.
No, I ain't talking about no lion maker. I'll tell you that right now.
Nah, bro. We talked about this a long time ago. This is like we were in the single digit episodes. But yeah, my man had a Minecraft YouTube channel, and yeah, things didn't go very well. Now, I've heard as of late, he just kind of fell off the internet and just dropped it after he started threatening to kill people and start showing an iPhone camera and apparently threatening self-harm. And I'm not even gonna delve into that. But for a while, they had that man dead to rights in 4K, no less. And that man was still able to, invite kids to a Minecraft server and make Minecraft content. I don't know if some new revelation has come to shake out and shook his foundation to the core and kicked the rocks out from underneath him.
Yeah, we got a Hannibal Buress this whole thing right now. We got to, release some clip of us talking about this and about the fact that this man is still doing this so that, it can go viral and people can actually like, Google his name and be like, wait, hold up, Lion Maker is making content with children. Hold on. And then, an investigation will actually happen because, yeah, Bill Cosby almost got away with it, guys. Never forget.
If he would have just died like 10 years before, you would have never known.
Oh my God!
Look, I'm just saying you would have never known. I'm not wishing death on anybody. I'm just saying.
No, I don't think anybody would have like looked into this if he had died. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know if it would have got out if he had died or whatever. But like, yeah, without Hannibal Buress being like, hey, did you guys ever like just Google Bill Cosby allegations? Like that man has a lot against him. Like I'm not even joking. Like seriously, he's got them. Look at him, and then that becomes like a sensation of holy crap, he's not joking. Crazy. And then the cops being like, wait, hold up, we have allegations against this man, and that turning into a thing. But yeah, because these content creators trying to do stuff with kids because they're at home on the internet and they're like, well, this is my fan base and
Especially
they're
during
in
a
my DMs
pandemic when they ain't got nothing but time. And it's just weird. It's
it
just
is.
weird.
But it's all a matter of like access, they have access to this man because he makes content that they like, and he has access to them because he's also lonely and he makes content that brings in these people. So he'll be
I
like,
feel like loneliness has much more much more negative factors and much more I hate to say it, dark side effects that, may go unseen than heroin.
then heroin? All right,
Nah, bro.
not heroin. Not unless you see like you got to see you got to see at least 3 heroin addicts like in a row to really see the reality of that.
I've only seen 2 in my life. I have not seen 3, and they definitely weren't consecutive. So I don't know. Maybe this new heroin's got him tweaking for real, for real.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know, man.
Hey,
Clout
man.
is the new heroin these days, right?
No. Clout is the new crack. Clout will never be heroin.
Well, at least we can agree on that. Clout will never be heroin, because ooh, that is a whole different ballpark right there.
But loneliness be getting these people acting way out the box frame, bro. It's not good.
Loneliness is how we get situations like people who are out here trying to defend Derek Chauvin, man. Derek fucking Chauvin of all people.
Is it really loneliness that's doing that? I mean, I don't know if Brett Favre is lonely.
Look. He could be. We don't know. All that money, he might just be crying in the club, like at the crib, just like, man, I wish somebody
Wearing his
would just
Wrangler
listen to me."
jeans. Wait, hold on. Was he Wrangler or Levi? Hold on.
I think it was Wrangler.
Nah,
But
he was a Levi man. No, he was a Wrangler man. All right, I was right.
Okay. Yeah, you mean I was right. Yeah. Derek Chauvin, that man is going to jail because he's guilty on all 3 counts, which was what? Manslaughter, murder 3, and I forget what the third charge was against him. But yeah, Derek Chauvin is getting his just desserts for killing George Floyd, and because of that, because of that, like the fact that the trial has been televised, because of the fact that this is like an important trial that everyone has been looking at, because they're like, hey, you know, what is the phrase that a lot of conservatives said about, like, you know, Joe Biden getting elected and stuff like that? What is it, like the morality of the nation, the moral compass of the nation, or you know, something along those lines? It's like all of that would be in jeopardy if this man got off scot free, right? So because he's guilty, people, there's some people who are just like, they just don't understand what reality is anymore, and they're just losing their minds saying all kinds of things, and it's not even like a political thing. It's not just right-wing people who are saying crazy things because of this. It's also people on the left and in the middle because
Mm-hmm.
first off, Nancy Pelosi coming out and trying to give like some heartfelt speech of like, you know, this all happened for a reason, but instead saying that, you know, like, thank you for sacrificing yourself. Like, he didn't intend this, Nancy. Like, what do you? Someone take that lady home, please. Get her off the mic. What are we talking about right now? Thank you for your sacrifice. I don't think his family is happy with his sacrifice. They probably wanted that man to go home,
Yeah,
and
like
he
I
didn't
don't
get
know.
to
It
go
was
home.
it was really weird how this whole thing played out because once again, you saw a lot of corporations trying to, you know, piggyback off the trial by
The
saying shit like,
performative nonsense.
yep, that performative, you know, social justice. But, you know, the Oakland Raiders decided they were going to make a tweet that said, I can finally breathe or something like to that effect. And
Yep,
it's like,
I can breathe. It's like,
and
what
it's
do you
like, no,
know?
no, you definitely can't. Like, what do you mean? The guy's
In more
dead.
ways than one.
And
Even like,
they
even
tried to
in the
make it seem like fight's over. We did it.
right, even in the
Racism is
figurative
over.
sense, like that's the whole thing. First off, that's a conservative talking point right there, where they're like, "See, guys, he's going to jail. Fight's over. You can all go home. No more protesting needed. The system works. Everyone, this is what we've been telling you." And it's like, no. What about the other people? You know, like what about the killers of Breonna Taylor, and what about Isaiah? All right, look, I'm not gonna go down the list of names, but like, hey, yeah, there's more work to be done, and people are literally saying, hey, yeah, you know, this is nice, this is great, let's celebrate, but there's more work to be done, and people on the other side are just kind of like, what are they talking about? More work? But the system works. The guy's going to jail. Even though I don't think he should go to jail, but the guy's going to jail. No. Freaking. All right. So you got people like Nancy Pelosi saying, thank you for your sacrifice. You've got the Oakland Raiders saying, I can breathe now, which is supposed to be like an ideal of, hey, the system works, so I can breathe easy and know that this sort of thing is not going to happen again. Even though, as we'll mention later on in the podcast here, it's still happening. Ironically, another case of this sort of thing has happened again. So, yeah, it's still
Hours after
happening.
the verdict came down, might I add.
Right. Like, what are you saying? Like, there's more work to be done. Even if you're trying to be like figurative and like, you know, symbolic and whatnot, saying like, I can breathe or whatever. You can't. Like, no, we're not done. Like, you can't. This is always the thing that happens when we get into a situation like this. I mean, everybody talks about Rodney King all the time, right? We all, you know, there was a video of Rodney King getting beat up by the police. That's like the butt of so many jokes and everything, right? What happened? Yeah, maybe the cops got, you know, reprimanded a little bit, and then it was like, yeah, see, the system works, and then we all forgot about it. We're in 2021. People still getting beat up by the cops. The cops are still like profiling. The cops are still doing all the same things they did to Rodney King. So, yeah, you can breathe, but not for long.
It's only going to be matters of days before they put that knee back on that neck.
Oh my God. Like,
But here's the
it's
thing,
so
though.
ridiculous. All these companies trying to like appeal to people and being like, see guys, justice, or, you know, see, we follow the trial and we stand with the people who stand against Derek Chauvin and yada yada. It's like, yeah, okay, that's not gonna make me buy some Nikes. You know, like that's not going to make me be like, I'm a Raiders fan now. Like that's cool that you guys wanted to like have some solidarity, but all you really had to do was say, "Yay, Derek Chauvin is going to jail as he should for for the crimes that he committed against George Floyd."
Now,
Simple.
if you want to know the shocking thing, though, the family, George Floyd's family, apparently expresses gratitude to the Raiders owner for the "I can't breathe" tweet.
I think it's one of those like we get what you're trying to do sort of thank yous. So I don't blame them for doing anything like that because they're like people who are like nitpicking about it, and I know we're doing that, but like ultimately it seemed like they were trying to do the civilized thing but weren't doing it in a civilized
They did
way.
it in a very tone deaf way. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. And that's the problem. Like they were being very tone deaf, but being tone deaf versus being like the murderer is, those are two totally different things. And considering the position that, for one, that family is in, like they would rather just be like, thank you for, doing the bare minimum, thank you for trying to be civilized human beings, trying to understand that this is a problem, et cetera, et cetera, you know?
Hey man,
Thank you
I
for trying.
personally I just think the Raiders were just trying to get some good PR because people are still pissed that they left Oakland.
Oh, shit, man. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Like, let's not. I know there was a whole pandemic, and there's a lot of important things that have transpired over the past couple of years. But we didn't forget. Oakland people are still pissed, and the Vegas people are like, we didn't even want you here. That's just more traffic. And so y'all are trying to do something to offset that. Not to mention they paid John Gruden an ass load of money to be mediocre, but whatever. They have a lot of things they got to figure out on their sports side, much less try to play politics.
Hey, remember how Aunt Jemima changed their name to what is it? Random Industrial Company?
No, no.
Is that like, does that matter now? No, I'm still like, I'm still eat the syrup. I don't care what the name was. Aunt Jemima wasn't the problem here, guys. That's the whole point. Aunt Jemima is not the problem. It's everything else. Like when people say that,
But it's still Aunt Jemima though.
right?
It's AuntJemima.com by the Per Milling Company. But it says soon to be known. So the change hasn't even happened yet. But give it a few months. You will now be saying, hey man, you got that new Per Milling syrup? You got that syrup over there?
Oh my god!
You got that PMC? And I mean that's where we're at with it right now. And that was as performative as ever, because it's just like, look, you could have updated the character. You could have updated the mascot to be a more non-mammy archetype character. But now it's just like, oh, there's no black woman here. It is just the PMC, baby. Like, I don't know. It just looks stupid as shit to me to be something that is even complained about. Like, there are more pressing matters than what is on my box of syrup.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you have situations like Adam Toledo, who he was shot by the cops, and what is it? The head of the police union in the area that this happened in came out and basically was like, they did yeah, it was Chicago police union. He came out and pretty much was like, yeah, the cop did the right thing. I mean, the cop rendered aid after shooting him, like, and he made a split decision, and he there was no way he would have known that the weapon wasn't there. He saw him drop something. So it's like, this dude is the head of the police union, meaning he is someone who has the power to get cops like this to not really have to face like real justice for killing someone in a situation like this, where like they could have easily spared that person's life, especially in the case where a 13-year-old threw the gun away. Like, oh man, because the gun wasn't thrown in your face, you had to assume that he still somehow had a way of like throwing bullets at this cop with his bare hands, and so killing the kid was the right thing to do, right? So this dude can literally just be like, no, it was a good shot, and then that cop like keeps their job, or at the very least they go on like paid leave for a couple of weeks and shit like that, right?
And paid
This
leave
is the part.
is a big paid vacation. I just want to make sure everyone knows that.
This is the part of the system that people are saying is still at fault. So when you have what's the word? When you have like contrarians who come out here and try to say things like, "You see, the system works because Derek Chauvin is going to prison." It's like, okay, that system worked this time, but you literally have people who are on your side who are also saying the system is fucked because he got rigged, because the trial was rigged and all this other bullshit. Like, hello. Like, which one is it? The system works, or the system did not work because this guy got screwed, even though he should have went to jail and he should be going to jail, etc. Like,
But did you see the way he
Everyone.
looked back at his attorney and his team?
Bro, that was the best. He was looking at him like, wait, guilty? Excuse me, this is not the deal that we talked about in the back.
Y'all said I was good. What you
What are
mean?
you saying? Excuse me, do you know who I am? Like that was the look on his face the whole time. Wait, hold on. You know that I am Derek Chauvin, right? Me. This guy, me, I am Derek Chauvin, not that guy over there. Me, I am Derek Chauvin, the officer of the law.
Now you think he's gonna be locked up in Gen Pop? Like you think you think my man gonna be getting lunch and then someone gonna be like, I know that ain't who I think it is.
That's debatable. Maybe. It depends on where he's getting locked up at. It depends on who's who's going to be handling him at the time that he's getting there. Like if it's someone who's like, yeah, I also believe that you're trash, or someone who's like, you fucked it up for all of us, that kind of nonsense, that man's going to Gen Pop. Otherwise they're probably going to put him in solitary or something to keep him away from people as much as possible, because street justice happens in jail. We can't all just deny that. Like something will probably happen to this man.
Like if EDP goes to jail, curtains.
Right.
Because he definitely can't fight. He definitely can't run away from nobody. It's just gonna be it's just gonna be raps.
Also, the trials for the other officers that were there are going to begin, I believe, the 23rd. Sometime soon, but those we haven't forgot about those guys either. So yeah, maybe justice will be served for them too. It'll be probably a more difficult case because of the fact that they weren't the ones putting the knee, yada yada. They were just
most of them just stood by and did nothing and were bystanders.
And blocked bystanders who could help from helping, because one of the witnesses is a first responder who specifically said, that man looks like he is dying. Please let me help him. And she also is the witness who pointed out that the nearest place that could respond would take maybe 3 minutes, and it took them 10. So she's like, there's some nonsense happening here.
There's definitely some negligence on those officers' behalf. Yes.
Right. So the trial is hilarious because the defense was like, I mean, but they did call for help, right? They did call for aid. How long it took, that's not that big of a deal. They did their job. They called. All right, dude. Good argument.
And they're like, yeah, and the defense is like, yeah, but you gotta understand, he was on drugs and the like, and and it's just like, I've seen many people apprehended who were on drugs, and I don't remember them, getting the clock ran out on their neck. I don't remember that.
Right. So
especially when there's 5 of them there. Come on now.
Exactly. There's a large crowd of people there also who again, first responder who's let me help that man. I have the skills, please.
And they were just like, nah, we don't want to hear it. Get back. But look, it's weird. But speaking of weird, we got to move back to what happened hours after the verdict was handed down, because there was a whole nother thing that's going to have the people up in arms, because Ma'Khia Bryant was a 16-year-old black girl who was apparently shot 4 times. Pat, pat. Pap, pap, double tap, because the officer was responding to a call that there was a fight, a skirmish, a brouhaha, a kerfuffle happening out there in the middle of the neighborhood. And when he gets there, what does he see?
A fight, a scuffle, a brouhaha. He sees the girl has a knife. Oh no, it's just like they told me on the radio. All right, I've got to stop there.
Now look,
kidding me?
Now look. When you see the dash footage or the body cam footage, this man gets out the car, and I'm not saying he was looking for smoke, but my man definitely wasn't hiding from smoke, because that gun was out quick. Now, like we said, cops have to make split-second decisions, but what I want to talk about before I even talk about anything the officer did, there's this dude, looks like a grown man, but they putting something in the water. These high schoolers is looking more and more like grown men every day, and I see this man chuck this woman on the floor, kick her in the head. She rolls over, and then he's trying to get 2 or 3 more extra kicks to her forehead, trying to put her in the concussion protocol, trying to give her CTE, trying to make her wonder if the letter Q is actually in our alphabet.
It looked like one of those videos of Lennox Mall when like everything in Georgia like first opened. I'm tell you that right now.
Like this man was trying to do Jeff Jam fight for New York combos on this woman who's on the ground.
And like I don't know what the cop was expecting, but like you could tell from the video that this cop was like nervous from the jump. Like, oh my god, a fight! What if someone hurts me? And it's like,
But here's the thing: like when that woman got thrown on the ground, like that was the least of his concerns. Like he didn't like if you look at his body language from what we can see from the body cam, he wasn't really too concerned about what was going on when that girl got thrown down and like punted in the head. Like he's like that'll handle itself. He saw the woman with the weapon, and then laid out the pop, 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 pop. Now
he responded immediately. By the way, it was not like a situation of him pulling out his gun. Like he pulled out his gun. He was like, "Hey, everybody stop! Hey, you put down the knife. Put down the knife." Like all the while he's got his gun out. He's not like, "Hey, I will shoot you." None of that stuff. No warning of a shot. He's like, "Put down the knife. Put down the knife. Pat, pat, pat." That's it. She's gone, and everybody, of course, stopped. They're like, "Oh my, yo, what are you doing? Like, what? You didn't have to shoot her. She's
now we do hear a man's voice like, "Hey, bro, she was a child," and I was like,
"Yeah."
It's like we can't see because they always pause the video, but I know it ain't the man who was kicking a woman in the head, trying to say she's a child. You are also a problem, sir. You are also a problem.
But he was like, hey, yeah, he's like, the cop was like, oh, but she has a knife. And he's like, but you didn't have to shoot her like that. Like,
now, here's the thing. I don't know about 4 times. I think that's a bit overkill. But like a shot, maybe 2. All right, I can give you that because you got to understand. Like if I'm in a kerfuffle and someone's got a knife and they're threatening to stab me, and according to these people, apparently this woman was suffering from mental issues. Like she has a history of that. And if that is the case, how did y'all let it get this far?
Right.
Like, where are the adults, the parents? Where are the parental units, the fathers, the mothers? Where, like, I understand auntie got on the phone, but I just feel like there should be some more people above the age of 18 trying to handle the situation. How does she even get the knife? Did y'all see her get the knife? Did y'all let her grab it when she came back out the house? Y'all said, oh, it's on now and pop it. And you didn't. Like, I just feel like there's many misguided steps that were taken here to get to that point.
On top of that, shooting her is not that's like that should be the last option in the list of like ways to handle this. But of course, the cop with
honestly,
his behavior.
Honestly, I thought he was gonna sprint out the car and just like run up and grab the arm with the knife. That's what I thought was going to happen.
That would have made a lot more sense. And I don't know, like even
like our cops
shooting.
not taught how to like take down a perp, like because she was definitely in a staggered state. Like she was definitely like wobbling on one foot, had the knife in the air. And yes, I understand you got to make these split-second decisions, but I feel like you didn't necessarily have to shoot. But as I said, if I was
could have like shot her hand.
If I was in that situation, well, no, I wouldn't have tried to shoot the hand because where her hand was, if you tried to shoot that, you could have hit the person.
Could have hit someone else.
Yeah,
like shooting like like a leg or something that's non-fatal. Even that would have been better than showing up and like unloading the clip, which apparently they're taught to do that. Like if you're shooting to kill every time, which that's a whole other thing. But like this is in Columbus, Ohio. He knew ahead of time that there would be chaos at the scene because there is a fight breaking out where this one girl with a knife was attacking 2 girls, apparently. When he pulled up to the scene, the girl with the knife was not like super in control of the situation. Like she literally got like flung back or whatever. And she
I don't know
was
about
attacking
flung back.
one.
They were definitely still grappling each other.
Yeah, but like like she was getting she was in the middle of a scuffle there, right? And she had one girl not in the chokehold, but like she like grabbed one of the girls, but the dude like immediately shot at her the moment she was in a position where he would hit her and no one else there. It was really weird. Like he didn't warned that he was going to shoot. He didn't shoot off any sort of like warning shots or anything of that nature that would like get this girl to really grasp the situation.
Like I said,
And
warning
he killed her.
shot. He could have done one shot, maybe two. Or
Right.
what I thought was going to happen was he was going to get out the car, saw her with her hand with the knife in the air, trying to stab the person, and just grab like their arm and hold it. Now, here's the thing. I understand taser, but you got to understand, if someone's got a knife near somebody and you tase them and they body jolt the wrong way, that person got stabbed.
Right.
They body lock up the wrong way, that knife, it's over for somebody. They can stab themselves. But once again, if the arm is out like this and you're coming up behind her, she doesn't even see you. That's an easy grab the arm, disarm the knife. I'm sure law enforcement officers should be trained to at least do that much.
I know that law enforcement officers in other countries, like the UK specifically, are trained for these situations, and they do it in a way where no one ends up shot, no one ends up dead. In some cases, they may need to get like more than one person out there with a certain amount of gear to prevent a person with a knife from like attacking them or attacking other people, but they do it in a way where they surround the person, surround the assailant, and they make sure to corner this person so that they can't hurt themselves or the police officers or anyone around, so that surrounding civilians will see the cops show up and be able to like leave the situation so that they could like get around this person with the knife and then tackle them down so that they can get the knife without anyone getting hurt. And they have the protective gear to protect themselves from getting hurt. And the way that they do it, even if they were to get hurt, it would be like more of like a cut. They wouldn't really be in a position where they could get stabbed. So I don't know. Maybe
but this thing, it looks like they didn't have that many officers to surround anything, and you got to remember
they sent one guy. They sent one guy to deal with this situation, and it makes no sense to me like why they heard that one girl and two girls were fighting each other, and they sent one dude to do this alone when obviously this required at least.
And his thing, it wasn't just two girls, because there was definitely a grown man out here giving the boots just giving the boots to people.
like I hear the description of this whole situation, and it's like, yeah, it was like her and two girls that were fighting, and I see this dude, and he's fighting somebody, and I'm like, wait, who is that? Like, there's so much context.
And he looked taller than the cop, so I'm just like, what is going on here?
There's so much context to this situation.
Now, me personally, if I was in the other girl situation where someone's got me hemmed up, you know what I'm saying, with a Lex Luger strong ass and a knife and playing around like that, thinking like they gonna stab me, and an officer came up and just said bloop, 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 and took out Lex Luger, I'm thinking that officer. Yes, sir. Yes, I don't give a damn. I don't care if I was 17 and the person who was trying to stab me was 14. I don't give a flying fuck. Don't ask why I be getting my hands getting the beats by Dre by someone 3 years my junior, but we're not gonna talk about that. Point is, I'm thanking that officer.
Nah,
you got
I'm
that
not
crazy.
Thinking nobody. You weren't supposed to be like this, bro. You weren't supposed to kill somebody. Come on, man.
I'm dapping that officer up.
Nah.
You got a knife on me? Nah, bro.
I'm good.
Bro.
I'm good. It's like, officer, you could have like injured this person. Cool. But
like don't get me
you
when you
killed
on the
them?
outside
Whoa.
looking in, yeah, okay. But if I'm the victim and you saved my life. Yo, bring it in, bro. You invited my cookout, dog. Hey, respect. You looking out. Good looking out, bro.
Nah, you could have done that a whole other way. I'm with all the other people who are on the scene. Hey, bro, you didn't have to do it like that, man. Like, you could have done it a whole different way. No, somebody didn't have to die.
You sound like somebody who ain't had a knife pulled on him. That's what you sound like.
Nice try. First and foremost, you put me in a situation where somebody pulled out a knife on me, and I was just minding my damn business. All right, so let's get that clear. All right. If a cop showed up to the room and shot that man, I would still be like, officer, it didn't have to be like this. Like, hold on.
Bro, if they would have shot Dom, I'd have been like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would not. Nah, I'm good. It's like, no, you did not have to kill him, officer. You could
have
hurt him,
I'm mad that he waited for me to not be there before he did all that. That's the part that makes me tight.
I don't think he waited. He just did it, man. He probably would have done it with you there. I was trying to go to sleep, man. I was in the most vulnerable position known to man. I was laying down in a bed on the floor. He had the high ground on me, man.
See, he never had the knife out when I was there.
Well, he wasn't feeling homicidal while you were there. So
I wish he was. What if all right, then you know what? No, we ain't even gonna talk about that. We ain't even gonna go there. We ain't gonna talk about that night.
I mean, we could.
I mean, we could, but like,
we would have all jumped him. Like if that had to be the situation, we would have all jumped him.
I've seen him in action. I've seen it.
What kind of action are we talking about here? Because with that dude, I don't know.
So all right. So we seen the little bit of the almost scuffle where he walked up on Henry and Henry just looked at him and then he just immediately did a 180 because he couldn't jump him. Like he was about to hit Henry in the back and then Henry turned around. And as soon as he turned around, he just changed course.
In the back?
Yeah,
in the back? Come on, that's a different. Like, yeah, that's not even like a scuffle or skills or anything like that. That's some cowardice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like nah. He was just talking. He was selling wolf tickets because if we
and
had
that's different from our situation because he was looking at me, man. Like that's why I was at alert in the first place. I was trying to go to sleep and I feel this man staring at me. And he pulls out a knife and starts talking about homicidal like tendencies or something. And I'm like, yo, maybe you should like back up while you talk about all those things, sir. Because I'm really way too tired to have to deal with some homicidal maniac trying to stab me while I'm just trying to mind my fucking business. And so yeah.
This man think he the fifth Ninja Turtle, bro.
The fifth Ninja Turtle.
Wait, you don't remember that man when he came up with his backstories? Actually, no, you weren't there. You weren't there. Yeah. All right, this man has 3 backstories. One, I think we told you this one about he couldn't get back unless Cass gave him money for a bus ticket for him to go back to Louisiana because his brother had died and he went to Dragon Con instead of going to the funeral, and the funeral was going to happen the day after Dragon Con, but he needed to get there the next day, but he couldn't afford to get there the next day. So he kept hitting Cass to bum a ride for money.
Yeah, those are bad choices. Those are bad choices, first and foremost.
And his first origin story was he was homeless. He was kicked out at the age of 5. And he just linked up with this homeless Asian dude that he did odd jobs for. And he taught him martial arts. He gave us this Karate Kid ass origin story. That's why he calls himself the Blasian God. That's where that started.
All right. Well,
that's where that started.
However, some people need to hype themselves up, right?
The second one was he was born in Cali somewhere, and he just moved out and just started hanging out with his homies in Oakland. This man is a fanfiction.net RNG character, bro.
None of that surprises me. As you've told me several times. so yeah. Look, man, the dude. Oh,
I see my boy Mike in the chat. He's confirming the story.
The dude was fine up until whatever point in that night, and like even at that moment when he had the knife and he was talking all that shit, I was like, he's not mad at me. He's mad at whoever like dumped him on us, which I understand.
He's mad at Jonathan and Cass. Because Cass
the moment he looks at
him.
me, all right.
Wait, you didn't know that's what that was about?
Well, not the incel part of that, but the moment he looked at me and he like had any sort of inclination that he could like lunge at me or whatever, I was like, okay, you're not mad at me, but like we're all just gonna have to jump you because you can't just come to our hotel room. We give you hospitality and then you attack us? Come on, man. Like that would have been a whole different story. So
bro, we were in the Westin on like the 38th floor. We'd have thrown that man out the window, bro.
He was next to the window. So I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, the window's right here. He may have the high ground, but you
ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 4, bro. But no, like, all right. So yeah, the background behind that whole story was he was originally hanging out with Cash, John, and them. And then he thought he had a chance to sleep with Cass. Like he was like, yeah, she's gonna give me the booty this weekend. Yes, sir. And then what ended up happening was when they were in the hotel room, some other random dude came in and she was like, ooh, look who's here. So you down? He's like, I'm always down. And they just go in the bathroom and just start clapping it up, man. Like and he's sitting in the room seething, hearing her get the Doonies beat down, bro.
You know what's weird? This is like the very common like incel like anime backstory every single time. It's like, yeah, I really liked her. I really thought that I had a chance with her, and then some guy shows up, and then this guy used his Chad ways to tell her that he was ready, and then all of a sudden they start doing it right in front of me, and that's when I knew I couldn't trust anyone. It's always some edgy bullshit like this.
It gets better. It gets better. Because apparently John came in there and was like, they still going in there? And then John was like apparently getting ready to get into his Dante cosplay. Dante from Devil May Cry, for those of you who need a visual. And apparently they're breathing hard and they just stop. And then apparently Dom knocks on the door and goes, you guys all right in there? But with this sad voice. And John was like, this is weird. And he just finishes buttoning up his jacket. And then they start, and as he's leaving, they get right back to round two. And he just sat there sad boying.
This is a bit of advice to any and everyone who gets anywhere close to a situation like this. If you got to get to a point where you're like sad and like you feel like you're going to freaking knock on the door and have all the sad like, oh, are you guys okay in there or whatever? One, just don't do it. Two, just go do something else. Literally, like forget about it. Go do something else. She's obviously not that interested in you, at least in that moment. So go do something else.
I'm mad you had that on hand though. You sound like someone who hasn't had a knife when nah, you sir. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. You right?
I could never forget a situation like this, man. Like, are you kidding me?
So, anyways,
for the weirdest people.
For those you don't know, so John told us that he had a homie who John had a homie who was coming the day early, and we were running a UGL event there at Dragon Con, so we were going to be there a day early before the con opens. Now, that being said, since we were running an event and we were part of, the Dragon Con experience that year, when that guy got there, he was like, hey, man, I need a spot to stay. Can you guys hook my boy up? So we were like, all right, out of the kindness of our hearts, he could stay here for one day, the day before. And then after that, he takes all the stuff and he goes to John's room because John will be there the first day of the actual con. Easy thing. Then he was an Omega weirdo. And it all started when I think it was Mike that sent me the text. Who let Black BDSM Sephiroth in here?
Yeah. So me and Mike went to the room to get something, and he was just there. Like we opened, I think like Mike opened the door, and like he felt somebody trying to like push the door closed because he was literally just there, like changing into like his a Sephiroth cosplay. And so it was like we walk in, and this dude is like, shirtless, and he's like trying to like hide behind the door or whatever.
In BDSM gear.
Yeah, which apparently was a part of the costume. So it was like just very jarring to like go to our room that we expected to be empty and then see a stranger in there.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't think John, who was in our room that would have let him in? Because I never saw him. I was setting up. Cardus was with me.
Oh, I thought it was you, bro.
No, that's why when you said that, I was like, Unless, because I know John had a room key for 10 seconds because he wanted to leave his stuff in our room. I didn't know.
That's part of the stuff, man.
I didn't know that he was part of the stuff. I thought he wasn't here yet. So when you said, who's Black Sephiroth BDSM in our room? And I was so confused. I said, Cardus, what do you know something about this? And he was like, that looks like a problem. Did they go to the right room? And I was
I literally had like that thought in my brain for a second. I was like, wait, are we in the right room? And I was like, wait,
the
but
card
he used
key
the
wouldn't
key.
work.
So
Yeah, that was wild. That was a wild Dragon Con. Anyways, speaking of unsavory characters doing some wild things, hopefully the unsavory character who is clearly shacking up with Jeff Kaplan's wife can be gone. Because Jeff
you gotta
Kaplan,
tell me more about this because I don't know anything about Jeff Kaplan and his wife.
Okay.
All right,
there is no real issues between Jeff Kaplan and his wife. But anytime you ever see Jeff Kaplan have to give a Overwatch update video where he's like, "Hi, this is Jeff from the Overwatch team," he just looks distraught at all times. It looks like his firstborn child died. He found out his mother was actually just a female Jack the Ripper. It looks like something in his mind is just broke. Hope is lost. Compassion is gone. He looks like a man worn down and just shot. Like, what we're looking at is just a shell of a man. And it's just been a running gag that somebody has probably been, beating up his wife's guts while he's been working on Overwatch. And now that he's no longer there because Jeff Kaplan is, stepped down, he's gone. He's out of there after, I believe, I think he's been there for like 2 decades. Like, he's been there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always weird to me when I see stuff like this. 'Cause I'm like, y'all have been having this baby cooking in the oven called Overwatch 2. And he's leaving in the middle of this. Like,
Fear not, buddy. Overwatch 2 is saved because someone else on the team is going to helm the project now, and Overwatch 2 will be fine. Don't worry. A different director will take charge of this project in the middle of it. No problem.
I'm always afraid when directors change over and, project leads change over in the middle of the process. Because, sometimes, it turns out fine. But then sometimes you have to have a Snyder cut.
Yeah.
And I just, Overwatch can't survive a Snyder cut for its sequel.
Yeah, I don't think video games are getting Snyder cuts anytime soon. So,
hey, you better watch out. The Last of Us might.
Huh?
The Last of Us might. Remember, there have been rumors that The Last of Us, the original, is getting a full remake. Game's not even 10 years old. I don't know why we're talking about remake, but here we go.
It's getting a movie. I know that. So,
hey, that could be Snyder cut too. Who knows? Maybe they could be doing a patch on the story, and what we thought we know really never happens.
Druckmann's vision was fulfilled in both games, sir, especially the second game.
Yeah, because he got to beat it up.
All right.
Hey, he made the decision to put himself in that game. I didn't.
Yeah. Oh boy, like, did he ever? And like, I think his character's only real purpose was beating up the cheeks.
Yeah,
actually,
that's it.
So.
That's all. Mission accomplished. High fives all around.
So yeah, but Overwatch 2 is somehow, some way going to go off without a hitch, even though Jeff Kaplan, the man in all the hey, this is the new thing that's coming to Overwatch videos, is going to leave the team. Like, and apparently there's according to him, there is no bad blood, and he's they've already got a replacement for the Overwatch side of things. Everything is going to go off without a hitch, but I don't trust that because apparently Blizzard's got some other people that have been leaving recently. So Blizzard in general is dealing with some stuff. So it might be worse than we think. It might be worse than they're making it seem, but only time will tell when it comes to this. I already expected Overwatch 2 to not be, that great. So,
that's how I feel right now.
This is just, hey, remember Anthem? Remember when they were like, hey guys, it's cool that the team is, some of the team is leaving, but this game will be fine.
I'm sorry. Someone sent me a tweet just now where apparently MVD and Technicals are beefing.
Oh, Okay.
So apparently, MVD's like, so Technicals made a new video and people are attacking me. Time to block and move on. And he said, then he'd follow up by MVD saying, apparently me knowing an under 21 is drinking who then proceeds to get raped makes me a bad person. And I'm like, all right, cut the feed. I don't know what y'all doing over there in Smashland. But y'all...
It's just another story like this, or it might be related to a story that
I think it's related to the original one that's already transgressed, but it's like, hey, bruh. So I thought they had already talked about this. Like this can't be new.
Exactly.
And if it is new, man, y'all just throw the whole scene should just be burned and gassed at this point.
Nah, man. Nah, you can't blame the whole scene because, you know, as we've seen from EDP, this could happen. It's not the scene's fault this is happening. This could happen with any scene, with any, you know, whatever, anywhere.
Yeah, it's just like I can't blame all the Eagles fans because of EDP445.
Exactly. Because I don't know, one of the thought processes to like how they should deal with this is to ban underaged players from showing up to tournaments. It's like what do you that's like half the player base when it comes to the Smash scene, maybe more. So like what are you going to do? You're going to have kids only tournaments or something? Like it's not going to prevent them from being around older people because someone's going to have to run the tournaments. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to like 16-year-old TO. So
I don't know. You just got to throw the hands up at some point, man.
yeah, exactly. You got to just be like, look, y'all need to just do a little bit better at paying attention to these adults who are around these kids. Be like, hey, maybe you should not be like, you know, such close friends with this kid. Maybe you should not invite that kid to the after party. It doesn't matter the Smash is going to be there.
I do think I'm not saying it makes him a bad person, but it's like you see somebody underage drinking around these people, you got to do something, man.
Right. You got to like at the very least keep an eye on them and be like, hey, you know, you all right? You good? Maybe I should cut you off right now with your drinks. Or hey, maybe you should not go into that room right there. Maybe you should like, you know, go sleep it off in your hotel room.
Look, all I'm gonna say is this: I've been to a few MomoCons where we at the spot, and all of a sudden I'm like, that woman look like she not a woman. She look like she about 14. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, she drinks all the time. I leave. I let everybody know, hey, bro, that's an underage person right there. Y'all better do something about that. And I skedaddle the fuck up out of there, bro.
Hey, I mind my fucking business, so I wouldn't know. Like, I wouldn't see these things, but if I do, hey, maybe y'all should watch out for that one right there because, you know, you always post these stories the next day or, you know, the next Monday.
Because you always, after the con, you always see on the Facebook group or you see on Twitter, did you know I was so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so? And it's just like, hey, bro, I let everybody know, hey, that person is underage right there. I just figured y'all should know that. And then I'm getting the fuck out of there because I don't know if there's more of y'all running around. And I don't, trust me, y'all know I don't trust these motherfuckers. I mean, you remember the time that Bolt almost murdered a man because he had a 14-year-old in his room? And boy, that was a night.
What? Huh? I don't know anything of the sort because you got to remember I was asleep for 90% of that situation and I woke up to you know that girl that Bolt brought through.
No, that's different. That's different. We ain't talking about that.
Okay,
that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about like so this was Umi told us that she had a cosplay friend who was like 16, but her roommate was a 32-year-old dude.
Oh yeah.
I was like, because you were
drunk and he was trying to like knock on the hey. Yeah,
and he brought a trash can with him because he was gonna beat him with the trash can. And then she answered the door. He said, "I know he in there." And now we out here in Georgia, two black men look like we about to give some white dude the hands because we know what he's doing in there. It's like,
ew.
Yeah, and then
Bolt was at the door. Me and you were.
No, you and Umi were by the elevator.
Oh yeah, you were with Bolt. Okay.
I was with Bolt because someone had to make sure that if Bolt was gonna do something, it wasn't something that like would end his like career as a free person. You know what I mean? You and Umi were like, we not getting involved. This y'all.
Yeah, I'm like, yo,
I don't really know Bolt like that, so I can't put myself up. But I'll be a good witness.
it's like, look, if the cops show up, I'll simply say I am a witness to the situation. That man over
But hold
there,
on. You didn't think it was weird though that he sent the underage girl to answer the door?
that was yeah, that whole situation was weird. That's why I was like, Umi, why are you not calling the cops?
Exactly. I was like, because you know his name. And now there's two dudes that saying, hey, bro, I know you've been touching on that girl in there. And then he sends the girl to the door? And maybe saying, oh, then why did y'all just grab her out of there? Because she had that little, you know, in hotels, you got that little lock thing. She cracked the door and she says, what do you want? He says, I know what he's been in there doing. And she was like, I consented. And I was like, bitch, you 14. What the fuck you doing, bro?
See, I think I was gone by the time all that conversation happened. I'm not gonna
Yeah, because
lie.
when we got back to the elevator, y'all were gone, bro. Y'all had pieced out. Because we told Umi to call the cops, and she just wouldn't call the cops because she said she didn't want to get involved. I was like, but you know his name. You know who this person is. You know where they live.
This is also like random information that was like given to us. I think like as they like walked by or something, where she was just like, "Yeah, you see that girl that's with that guy over there?" I was like, "Oh, you know, they look like a nice couple or whatever." And you're like, "Yeah, that girl is underage." I'm like, Excuse me, say that again."
And we're just like, huh? What is this? It's like, yeah, we used to be in the same group. He's like, you know, in his 30s, and I was like, what the fuck? Hello? We should do something about this. And then Bolt was just a man on a mission. So that's how that was turning out. Yeah, we have plenty of con stories, just like how that one dude ended up getting another man's semen on his face on accident. That was
all right.
That was.
Well, that's a story for a completely different day.
We can't look. I don't tell that story anymore. I just tell that part and then I move on. That was just tough with two F's. But it was tough with two F's, just like our boy Shang-Chi, because I don't know if you know, the actor, Simu Liu, apparently had some spicy takes back when he was a youngster, back in like what, 2012, 2013. And obviously people are now using that as an excuse to spread Asian hate. Because for some reason, apparently people were like, well, he said these things back then, so we're going to say anti-Asian stuff now. Using ignorant tweets of the past to justify modern day bigotry, which that's one way to go about it. And, you know, trying to say Disney should stop Shang-Chi's production and we should be able to boycott it, you know, stuff of that nature.
Let's make this clear right now. Simu Liu was announced as Shang-Chi like over a year ago. Like they literally released like little like test footage like thing of him and maybe like a stunt actor or someone else like sparring outside as a part of their announcement of like, this is the man who's going to be Shang-Chi, guys. And so people were aware that this dude was going to play this character. But, you know, once this trailer dropped for the movie, I don't know, somebody decided that they were going to pull up some old tweets that he had and then comment on tweets made in 2012 where things were very, very different. And so this tweet caught some traction, and Simu Liu himself commented on this, you know, and said that he would delete the tweet. You know, like he has acknowledged that he said stupid stuff and that, you know, he was a kid and was, you know, being a stupid kid. And so he also acknowledged that he, you know, those are not his thoughts now. And, you know, he would gladly delete those if that would, you know, satisfy the people who are unhappy with these tweets. You know, mind you, these are tweets from 9 years ago. So yeah, like that's the best he could honestly do for that right now is say, hey, you know, I'm sorry about all this. This is from when I was stupid and a kid, you know, and learning. I'm a grown ass man now. These are not my thoughts. These are not, you know, my opinions now. I'll go ahead and get rid of them. so that you don't have to see them again. And of course, people on Twitter will still comment on it like that's him right now. And it's like, bro, look at the date. Like this always happens. And it's like nobody, I don't think there are like many people who have old tweets that they're like not proud of, where they say some like wild shit, because we first off, we as society had some shit that's wild to say now that was completely fine and common to say back then, and this is kind of one of those situations. Like it was just bad attempt at being at jokes, and he's like, hey, I'm not funny. So I don't know. Like it seems like a one of those like mountain out of a molehill sort of things, where they're just like, hey, this guy's gonna play Shang-Chi, and another thing, Aquafina's gonna be in the movie. Like you'll find something to be mad at,
It's like, next you'll be forcing me to buy Mazdas. Huh? I don't know how that tracks.
I don't understand the correlation.
Like what are we looking at here, man? But no, when you see people go on these racial tirades, that boy, they just be connecting dots that aren't even in the game, bro.
Yeah. But it boiled down into one of those like things where some people were like, you see, Asian people don't support black people, blah blah blah, this and that, so now I'm gonna talk shit about Asian people, whatever. Like, remember that one girl who went on that whole tweet tirade that was like hella racist about her neighbor, and how like, it's not racist that her black neighbor was like, being mean to her or whatever, because she got bullied by black people when she was younger for being Asian. And it's like, bro, you're not like that kid anymore, right? You're a grown woman now, right? She's like, you guys don't understand. It's like, oh, you're still on this hill? All right, well, goodbye. Simple as that. And then she, Thanos snapped, disappeared.
Reminds me of somebody, don't it?
Who, Senpai?
There you go.
So, we will more than likely never hear from that person until like, the law is involved, probably, because
they said that something legal happened over there, so we wait with bated breath.
Caught in 4K, so
well, back then it was probably 1080p, but it's 4K now. It's evolved.
1080p, bro. It was something from like 3 or 4 years prior. Like we had 4K that long ago,
but our streams weren't 4K. I'll tell you that.
All right. Hey, well,
not the locals.
Hey, man, this was an established weekly from a company that also did majors, so they could have had 4K cameras that caught this footage.
All right, I'll give it to you. Point is, caught is caught.
Yeah,
regardless of the resolution.
Yeah, that oop, and then went oop-ah, and then disappeared.
It be like that sometimes. It definitely be like that sometimes.
Oh man, like, look, anytime anything related to Smash drama comes up anymore, I just throw up my hands and I'm like, yep, like
yeah, that's it.
This sucks. Like this sucks. Another one that we got to sit here and be like, wow, can't believe that this shit has happened, and then people will get mad. People will be like, oh, I can't believe this. People from the outside will be like, man, Smash community is crazy, and then you just have to be like, can you not do that? Because this is not an embodiment of the entire scene. This is something that's happening with a small number of people in the scene who did this because of the opportunity, not because of Smash. Like, Smash didn't convince them to do all this. They did all this because Smash got them in a position where they could be around people of that age and take advantage of those people. Like,
I mean, if you want to talk about taking advantage of people, you also got to look no further than Florida, because the Florida House of Representatives apparently passed a bill that bans trans student athletes from playing in the sport of the gender and legalizes genital inspections when someone has determined an athlete's gender is in question. via a challenge from a concerned parent, another coach, another school, etc., so on and so forth. So, what does this mean? It limits sports at most educational facilities to biological sex, which, if we're talking about like professional stuff, I could understand that because there's obviously some advantages you get to be from being a man, and there's some advantages you get to be from being a woman. There are certain things that would make it not necessarily a fair thing to do. But when you're talking about like school kids, outside of the waning later years of puberty, will that even become an issue? But we're out here permitting genital inspections? Like, how does that work? Like, I'm a man. Are you? Unzip right now. Like, how do you...
Like, is that not like sexual harassment? Like, what,
is that like...
what do we like? What are we really doing here? We're making sexual harassment legal now?
And it's just like, it permits genital inspections of a female male student, and the law and legal recourse for those who feel wronged when the law is violated. So the Republican-dominated lower chamber of the House passed the bill on a 77-40 vote, which will now be reconciled with a similar Senate version of the legislation. Critics decried as the legislation is discriminatory and called out Republicans who claimed the recent election victories in the state give them a mandate to discriminate. And yeah, it's a really weird situation. And I'm just like, and some sports are even co-ed. So like, what do you do then? Like,
it's like I don't know. It's such a weird precedent because like the whole logic behind this is like the same logic behind the whole bathroom thing, where it's like, if you allow them to be in these spaces, blah blah blah, then predators could just lie and blah blah blah, whatever, right? But
predators be going in there anyway, though. That's
exactly
the thing.
Like you got a situation where a teenage girl was in the women's restroom and a bunch of boys came into that restroom and blocked the door so that no one could get in and no one could get out. And of course, that girl felt very, very uncomfortable. And she kicked one of the dudes in the balls because she was like, "What do you like? I was in here and I'm trying to leave, and now you're not letting me leave. Like, you're not even supposed to be here, blah blah blah." So it's like, at the end of the day, if someone is trying to like go into a bathroom and like attack someone, they're not going to be like, "Oh, well, this is the women's restroom and I'm a man, so I'm just not gonna. I can't do that.
Yeah,
I could never." It's like, their moral compass was already
that little
compromised.
that stick figure with the blouse is not kryptonite. Ah, I can't go in there. Darn you. Darn you! That's not how that works. I'm tell you that right now.
Let's not say, "Hey, let's not go to the park because someone could show up and beat me up in the park." It's like, okay, but they could beat you up anywhere, to be honest. And if someone wanted to beat you up, they would just they would find you even in your home. Like this is not the park's fault, and so you shouldn't be like, "Yeah, let's never go to the park because it could happen." Even if you don't have enemies, it's like, "Oh, it could happen." Sure, but a meteor could also like show up and hit your car while you're driving and like blow up everything. Like anything could.
Mechagodzilla could be real and it just blows up New York City. And
exactly,
if you don't have Godzilla insurance, oops, I guess you just lose.
Like, let's make legislation based on like these like hyper hyperbolic situations that they could happen but are not very likely to happen because somebody told somebody's mom like, "But what if this happens?" And then they got like really really like angry about it. Like, what are you saying? Like, what are these kids and their gender really doing to you, honestly? Like what is happening here in your brain where you're just like, yeah.
And look at this thing. Imagine if you're not trans. Like, let's say you're a dude with feminine features, or you're just a woman with, dare I say, manly features, and now all of a sudden it's like your genitals are up for inspection. What?
Right. Like, what if you're a female presenting like a man, and someone like you. have some feminine presenting like female presenting like features, but they're not like something you're doing on purpose or whatever, and they see you in the street and they're like, oh, we believe that you think you're a woman and you're actually a man, so we can just go ahead and like grope your genitals right now to make sure. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
like if you rep Team Tomboy in school, what they gonna be like? I'm gonna need you to whip it out. Excuse me?
It's like, what are you doing? Like the all of this, it's so weird that like all of these like same people who are like passing these this legislation are the ones who are like, if like if such and such becomes president, if such and such gains powers, if this side gains their powers, then they're going to take away our rights, they're going to do all these things. But they're the ones who are trying to take away people's rights by doing something like allowing someone to sexually harass someone off of suspicion of something that's not even like, it doesn't even matter that much. It's like, so what if this person is a man? So what if this person's a woman? Like, it doesn't matter for whatever you're looking for, especially if you're just like, yeah, I don't want him to play sports. Like, okay.
Sports. But yeah, I don't know. It's a whole thing. Florida has always been weird, but like I feel like we need to pass legislation to get 49 states. Like just let Florida be a peninsula on its own, just independent. Let them do them. Just keep them on over there.
Between that, the meth, the other drugs, and this like new anti-protest bill that they're trying to pass. It's like they're just trying to become some sort of wildlands, of some sort. They just want to like, they're like, hey, all the degenerates can come down here. You guys can do whatever you want. It's like, all right, bro. Like, if you guys want Florida to be that, fine. Then let the good people of Florida move to somewhere safer, and you guys can have all the degenerates that you want down there and do whatever the fuck it is you want to do, because that sounds ridiculous to me.
I'm telling you, man, that's where Mad Max is gonna start, right there.
Right, because you're attacking people's like First Amendment rights. Like, hey, yeah, you can protest, but not at this time, or not this way, yada yada. Hey, yeah, you can you can get mad if someone tries to like like grope you or whatever. But hey, if they believe that you may be this gender, then it's totally allowed that they can do that. You don't need to call the cops because it's okay for them to grope you in these situations. It's like, no. Now you're moving the goalpost, and rights are rights, and if you're taking them away from people, then this is a problem. So how about you not do that and allow people to, I don't know, live?
Nah,
Because
man, that's too much. That's too much. Too much. Too many steps. You just listed right there. There's too many steps. Let them live? Nah, bro. Crazy. It's crazy
like,
talk.
what do you even gain from this besides like the fear mongering more to people and like actually making Florida a like fearful place where it's like, yeah, people aren't going to feel safe when the other people are allowed to do this. Like, are you going to make it so that someone can beat you up because they think that you might be a Nazi, or someone can beat you up because they think that you might be in a gang, or that you might have bought GameStop stock or something? Like what? Where's the line? Oh, that guy is a gamer. I can beat him up right now because the law states that gamers are dangerous.
Imagine you out here just wearing your favorite SpongeBob shirt. It's got a little bit of blue and yellow on it. You know what I'm saying? You wearing blue jeans.
Jeez, yeah.
You wearing your blue shoes, and then someone just says, "You're a gang member." And just gives you the ones and the twos. I thought he was corrupting our children.
Oh my God, that man's wearing a hoodie and a mask. Antifa. I'm gonna attack him right now. It's like, wait, no, he was just trying to go home. He just left a sporting event.
Nah, man, gang banging on SpongeBob, bro.
It's like, bro, it's cold outside. What do you want him to wear?
And not that, not that. But speaking of not that, we finally got context to the not safe for work image known around the world when it comes to Resident Evil's 8-foot woman. Because let's be honest, I know she was devouring his hand, but it ain't look like that when you saw the initial render. It took me for a bit of a loop because I'm just scrolling through the timeline and I just see her just giving the guac 9000 with the caption, "Let's see how special you are." And I'm like, what in the Rule 34 is this? only to find out it was an official Capcom.
No. This is in the video game.
I was like, huh? What's going on here? And then you find out, you know, eating the hand, and apparently there was a quick demo that everyone got to see.
Yeah, so, she was eating something in his hand, and then I don't know. Yo, they knew what they were doing. All right, let's just put it that way. When you hear the noises of like the, you know, and everything is just like, all right, yeah, you guys know exactly what's going on here. But it's fine. I mean, who better, if you really want to sell a video game, who better to appeal to than horny people?
Look, horny people are undefeated when in the marketplace. Like, not only does sex sell, boy, it brings people to keep coming back again, after once again and again until they blow their load everywhere.
Also, horny makes people make very bad decisions. So yeah,
yeah, and it'll make people like you'll just bleed them dry. You thought they hoed you with the DLC in Resident Evil 7? Nah, you ain't ready. Especially the mods, because day one, you're going to have that character walking around nude on your timeline. It's happening.
Oh, no. Is this game coming out on PC day one? Oh. And I thought Thomas the Tank Engine is Mr. X's bad.
That unfortunately was a thing. Along with X Gonna Give It To You, which I had to play that mod one last time for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Like, let me put it this way. There are people who are so horny that they made nude mods for Street Fighter V.
Yep, they sure did.
Like, it's a fighting game. Also, if you want to be horny and play a fighting game, just buy DOA. Just buy DOA 6. Like, what do you... Come on. Like, it's built in the game for you.
There's nude mods for Mortal Kombat, bro.
That is so awkward.
There's nothing, man. Nothing.
Speaking of Mortal Kombat, like all the people who are mad about like Shiva's redesign and Melina's redesign and all this stuff, like it's not sexy enough. It's like, is that why you're playing the video game? Is that what the video game where people are getting eviscerated and like decapitated and whatnot? That's why you're playing it? Because I don't know, that's a weird dichotomy of things right there. Like you might be someone who needs to be on a list.
Boy, you hope so.
You might be watching some of those disturbing movies that get made for some reason. So, nah, man. I'm not trying to... I'm good. It's like, I'll stay here with my... the female character who has a normal outfit that a normal woman would wear in this situation. Or, the costume of this character who is clearly not human, who is wearing battle armor instead of having like some weird like low cut outfit on and getting sexualized. It's like not even human, and you're trying to fap now. Like, yo, go do that somewhere else. It's like not during our video game, please.
Nah, man, that's how you end up getting sent the Bitly link, and you're like, oh, this is related to the mod. And someone said, yep, I got the mod on deck. And you click it and it's an X videos link and now you're dead.
Look, man.
I'm telling you, man, that people are horny for no reason.
If I sound like I'm gatekeeping horny people, I am.
Just trying to say, send them home, keep them home.
Yeah, that's right. Why don't you go home, take care of that, and then like come back when you're in your right mind, because I know what this does to you. I know exactly what this state of mind does to you.
That's tell this. Here's the thing. Post-nut clarity is a myth. Post-nut clarity is just when you get reset back to neutral. Like you had clarity, then you got horny.
And speaking in terms of fighting games, sometimes it's very, very like necessary to get reset back to neutral. So
look, man, some people don't know how to play that. They immediately run right back into the situation that they just left.
That's right. Let's talk about new fighting games. Nobody knows how to play neutral anymore. And now, because of it, they can't even play neutral in real life. Crazy.
No, here we go. Here we go.
No, I'm not about to be old man boomer of the FGC and give you those thoughts. Like, the fighting games ain't the way they used to be, and nobody knows how to play neutral. And now they taking away all my costumes or all my female characters. What is all this cowardice nonsense here?
What is all this social justice warriors taking over video games?
I can't believe everybody got a stance now. Everybody want to get clout. I just want to play the video games. Everybody got to complain that this fighting game is hard. Come on, man. If you don't know how to do 6 one-frame links and one combo, then you trash. And you need to go home and go into the lab.
It be like that when it be like that.
Every time, man.
But alas, I think that's going to do it for this episode. This is episode 30 now, right?
It sure is. It sure is, buddy.
Man, we're almost at a year's worth of episodes. A little over halfway there.
Just churn them out, man. Just churn them out for everybody.
But that said, I think we'll catch you next week. I don't see why we wouldn't, but you never know these days, because any week could be our last at this fucking point. Not because the podcast is going anywhere, but like for all we know, like the infrastructure of the United States just crumbles and deteriorates to a point to where there's zombies on the street. We got to give you the podcast while fighting zombies. Like, we could be out here shooting a bunch of EDPs. Like, you never know. You never know. I can't rule anything out.
No.
Well, like my co-host always says, the internet was a mistake. And if you got anything you want to go out on, hit us with it.
I will leave you with this quote from Whoopi Goldberg on the topic of marriage. I don't want somebody in my house.
GG's, fam. GG.